Matt Welker is a 2008 Gananda graduate. During Matt's time at Gananda, some of his achievements include being a two-sport varsity athlete, vice president of his class, and performing in the school musical all 4 years. After Gananda, Matt received a bachelor's degree from St. John Fisher College in sports management. During Matt's time at St. John Fisher, he spent time with organizations such as the Rochester Americans, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and the Buffalo Bills. Shortly after college, Matt joined AMF Bowling to pursue a career in sales. Matt currently serves as a regional vice president of sales for Bolero Corp., the world's largest owner and operator of bowling entertainment centers. Matt was to be married this August, before the coronavirus, to his fiancée Katie, who he actually met in high school. During his free time, Matt loves spending time with his friends from home, playing outside with his dog Sadie, and spending Sundays in the fall watching his Buffalo Bills. It is my pleasure to introduce Matt Welker.
Good morning, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. As Mr. Mahoney said, I'm Matt Welker. I'm a proud member of the Gananda High School class of 2008. Now, I'm sure most of you are wondering, who the heck is this guy, and why did they pick him to speak to us today? And we'll get to that. But basically, I was your typical Gananda student. I played sports, I tried hard in school, I performed in the musical, and I enjoyed doing everything with a close group of friends that I grew up with in this small town. Now, I'm also going to let you in on a little secret. When the legendary Mr. Potter himself asked me to share my post-graduation experiences with you and try to provide some advice on things I had learned along the way, I was floored. Now, on one hand, I was shocked because Mr. Potter was the teacher who easily threw me out of class and sent me to the office most when I was in high school. Most of the time, with good reason. I could not believe that they wanted this former class clown to share the thoughts with this incredibly talented group of graduates. But with that shock, I also felt a tremendous sense of pride. I forgot how much being a part of the Gananda community and growing up here impacted my life to this day. And I truly feel honored to be a part of what is one of surely the biggest days of your entire life to this point. Now, before I go any further, there are a few people who deserve some special recognition. There's an old proverb that says, it takes a village to raise a child. I know that for myself personally, it basically took the entire village to raise me. So with that, I'd like to take a moment to recognize those of you who are a part of the village for these graduates. The parents, grandparents, step-parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, coaches, teachers, and family friends who helped get the class of 2020 where they are today. Each and every one of you should be proud of the sacrifices, countless rides to practice, hours of homework help, and battles with moody teenagers that I'm sure you had to endure to help this class reach this massive accomplishment. Everybody at home, give a big hug to a member of your village. For me, one thing that I remember almost more clearly than anything else when I was in high school was people telling me it goes by so fast. Cherish it, enjoy it, because once this is over, everything for you is about to change. And they were right. Now, for everyone sitting at home in the audience, things have already changed in the face of COVID-19, especially for you graduates. I think that we can all agree that this is not how you imagined the end of your senior year going. I remember mine being filled with proms and sports, graduation, making plans for my freshman year of college, and most importantly, spending time with the group of friends I had grown so close with over the years. I can only imagine how much it stings for you to take those milestone moments and trade them in for Zoom calls with your friends, binging Netflix with your parents, and trying to become the next viral sensation on TikTok. It's not fair. It's not fair to miss out on all of these things that we've been waiting and working towards for 4 years. Now, some of you are finding out this for the first time, but life outside the walls of Gananda High School, it's not always fair. You can do things the right way, play by all the rules, and still end up on the short end of the stick. But for me, the old cliche rings true. It's not about how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get back up in the face of that adversity. And really, for all of you today, the milestone of graduating high school signals the end of one chapter and the opening of a brand new one. Even in the face of a global pandemic, you are on the verge of becoming real-life adults who can make their own decisions, forge their own paths, and start to lay the foundation for the people that you want to become. Now, I'm sure that's intimidating for a lot of you. I know that it was for me. But this is your chance to really become the person that you want to be, not the people or the person that people expect you to be. Gone are the days of saying, when I grow up, I want to be blank. The world is literally sitting there for you for the taking. The challenge for you is that the world as we know it has changed and is going to continue to change. The next steps are entirely up to you. Now, I'm sure that many of you are thinking of going to college this upcoming fall. When I left high school, that's what I did. I enrolled at St. John Fisher College with one dream in mind, to work for the Buffalo Bills. I have always had a burning passion for sports, and I decided that I wanted to build my career in the industry that I loved. I knew that going to Fisher gave me the best opportunity for turning my goal into a reality. I was the only person who could allow myself to fail, and I was determined not to let that happen. So I worked at it. I built relationships with my professors who controlled training camp. I worked hundreds of hours at unpaid internships, gaining any experience in the sport industry that I could. I took work study jobs. I worked minimum wage jobs. I even worked for free. That's right. I worked for free. All of this while taking on a full class load at college. And to be honest, there are times that I look back and I can't even fathom the lack of sleep I had during some of those years. Nevertheless, after my senior year of college, I finally got my foot in the door. That hard work had finally paid off. I had secured a training camp internship with the Bills. I had my shot to show them what I could do. And just as I had done leading up to this point, I did everything extra that I could find. I sought out work. I was the first one there. I was the last one to leave. And I worked really hard, and it didn't go unnoticed. At the end of my internship, there was a full-time position that opened up with the team. It didn't pay much, but for me, it was the chance at a culmination of everything that I had been working towards. I went from securing the first interview to 3 rounds later being in the final 2 candidates for the job. I thought I had it in the bag. They saw how hard I worked and how desperately I wanted to be a part of the organization. It was destiny, I thought. Until it wasn't. Until I got that call that they had chosen another candidate for the job. They had a more advanced degree and more relevant experience, even if it wasn't with the team like mine had been. They said that there was nothing I could have done differently, that they loved meeting me, and they'll see me again soon. I was absolutely devastated. I mean, heartbroken. I saw my dreams evaporate like when Thanos snapped his fingers and made the Avengers disappear into thin air. It isn't fair, I thought. How could they not pick me? But as I've discovered, that's life. Life is not always going to be fair to you. You will suffer loss and disappointment that's completely out of your control. You're going to get mad. You're going to say, why is this happening to me? And I believe that there's 2 different ways that we can handle these situations. We can let things outside of our control continue to drive us and impact us, or we can use these moments to learn, to overcome, and to challenge ourselves to be even better. I've chosen the latter, and I hope that all of you guys continue to do the same as well. And really, like my unexpected disappointment with the Bills, there are going to be unexpected obstacles that will continue to challenge you in your journey to adulthood. And that's going to be true whether you've decided to enter the workforce following graduation, attend college like I did, or maybe you've come up with a completely different plan, and that's okay too. With the world's economy in question and unemployment reaching levels that we have not seen since the Great Depression, the job market is going to be competitive as ever. It's going to be hard. But I've got some good news for you. You're graduating a Blue Panther. You already know how to overcome obstacles placed at your feet. You already have some of that underdog mentality and a chip on your shoulder that will fuel you to achieve your highest levels. I know for me, I used the chip on this shoulder and the disappointment of not getting that job with the Bills to drive me into securing my first real job. It was an administrative assistant role with the sales team at AMF Bowling. That's right, the same bowling alleys you may have had birthday parties or gone midnight bowling in the past. Again, it didn't pay much, but for me, it was a great opportunity to make a name for myself at a company that I discovered really valued hard work. It also allowed me to elevate my lack of sales experience that had me come up short in my interview with the Bills the summer before. I was grateful to stay as close as I could to the sports industry that I loved as I continued to chase my dreams. I now stand before you 7 short years later as a regional vice president of sales. I've seen my company merge twice to transform itself into the largest bowling company in the world. I oversee 6 sales teams in 3 different states with almost $25 million in sales and 50 employees that I'm responsible for. I've met celebrities and had moments with the company that most people my age are not lucky enough to experience. I could stand here in front of you and tell you that it was easy, that it came naturally to me, and I was born to sell. Now, on one hand, you're probably right. I once had a professor in college tell me that I was the last person on planet Earth who knew that I was born to be in sales. But on the other hand, it wasn't always easy. Like I had done before, I took late shifts. I showed up early. I stayed late. I truly cared about the work that I was doing. I competed to be the best in every metric that mattered. And with the ability for me to take control of the things within my power, I was able to stay laser focused and avoid bumps in the road. I leaned on my family and my friends for pieces of encouragement when the road got harder to travel. I also got lucky. I was at the right place at the right time, several different instances. But there's a funny little secret about luck. The harder you work and the more that you truly invest in what you care about, the luckier that you seem to get. And I'll go one step further. I'll let you in on another little secret. Whether it's me standing up here in front of you, your teachers, or even your parents, nobody has all of the answers. We're all trying to do the best that we can with the cards that we're dealt. We make mistakes and wish that we could handle things differently. That's okay. Sometimes the biggest growth that we can achieve as human beings comes from our biggest learning experiences. And remember, you're not alone in this. I believe that in this world-changing pandemic, there's been a silver lining. We've been reminded of what truly, truly matters to us. It's not always jobs, status, or wealth, but instead, it's people, and it's family, and it's your community. And to this day, I feel blessed to sit back and reflect on what Gananda has provided to me. I'm engaged to be married next summer. I met my future wife in all 10, yes 10, of my groomsmen because of one common factor, being from Gananda. It's not always easy to stay close with these people as your lives change. But I'm here to tell you, especially in times like these, there's nothing better than having a close group of people that is always there to support you. So that's where I leave it up to you. Your class has been given a challenge that has not been seen before. In the last couple months alone, you've had to figure out how to stay close with your friends without actually being with your friends. You've had to learn how to graduate high school without actually being in high school. And you've had to navigate the next chapter of your life with an incredible amount of uncertainty ahead of you. But the good news is you already have a leg up on the game. You're built to overcome. Believe it or not, being in this position right now, at this very moment, is going to help you with the challenges that face you ahead. Again, you are built to overcome. Hold on to that strength that you've been forced to build and help it drive you as you leave high school and enter your next chapter. And of course, let's go Big Blue.